What's going on, everybody? This is Ryan Thomas, live on the Thomas Take Sports Podcast, bringing you another edition of the Thomas Take Sports Podcast. I'm very excited to kick this one off. Saturday night is all right. Saturday night is fight night. Tomorrow night, UFC 235, John Bones Jones returns to the octagon to take on Anthony Lionheart Smith for the UFC light heavyweight title. Jones looks to defend that title. Tyron Woodley looks to defend his UFC welterweight title against Kamaru Usman. And Robbie Lawler takes on a fighter that will be making his UFC debut, none other than Ben Askren. And Ben Askren's been a guy that I've really looked at these last few years as a what-if story. What if this guy fought in the UFC? What if this guy fought the Robbie Lawlers or the George St. Pierres or the Khabib Nurmagomedovs in a dream world at 170 pounds? What would happen if Ben Askren were to test his skill against the will of the ruthless one? We're about to find that out tomorrow night, live on pay-per-view. And out of all the fights that this card offers, which is quite a lot, even on the undercard, Diego Sanchez, Mickey Gall, Jeremy Stevens versus Zabit, I'm very excited for UFC 235. I think this is going to be a phenomenal card. This is going to be a card that I think will be talked about amongst mixed martial arts fans for quite some time. And I highly suspect that Ben Askren and Robbie Lawler will be a very intriguing, interesting fight. Ben Askren, undefeated, 18-0, never lost a round, let alone a fight. Robbie Lawler, former UFC welterweight champ. Robbie Lawler, one of the most ruthless fighters in the game, and the nickname fits. And he's a guy that I really, really enjoy watching fight. One of the more entertaining fighters that you could quite possibly have in terms of entertainment value, in terms of fighting style. He brings it each and every single time. To his detriment and to his strengths, he fights the same way in each and every fight. So we know what we're going to get. We're going to get Robbie Lawler going out there looking to throw big power bombs, and Ben Askren looking to put Robbie Lawler's back to the cage and take him down and pound him for 15 minutes or until Robbie Lawler decides to give up, give his back, or open himself up to any sort of a submission. I love these type of fights. I love the striker versus the grappler matchup. We've seen it most recently in a high-profile fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor, and the grappler won. Oftentimes, the grappler does win. Oftentimes, the grappler does put himself in the position to succeed. Will it happen this time? I think out of any fight on the card tomorrow night, the toughest fight to pick is that fight. Ben Askren, Robbie Lawler. I've tossed and turned over my pick, who I think will win this fight. I'm going to go with the grappler again. I think Ben Askren will win the fight tomorrow versus Robbie Lawler. But if Robbie Lawler can avoid Ben Askren's takedowns, which few have ever been able to do so, but Robbie Lawler himself has phenomenal takedown defense. If Askren takes Lawler down, the fight's over. But if Lawler can continue to get back to his feet and or avoid the takedown, Robbie Lawler just might knock out Ben Askren. These are the type of fights that I like. These are the type of fights that are the great ones. Ones where you have a tough time picking who will win. I know I'll be tuning in tomorrow night. You should be too. Ben Askren, Robbie Lawler, that's a hell of a fight.